Cuba. You're very passionate about Cuba. You spoke about Cuba and Cuba's health system in the Dole before,
Yes.
and other elements of Cuban life and society and politics. You must. So, I mean, what do you think of this normalization of relations between the US and Cuba?
I'm absolutely delighted. I'm delighted now. And Obama, and fair play to him, and there's certain things I give out about Obama, but in fairness to him, he's now trying to move the US in the right direction in relation to Cuba. I mean, Cuba has been hammered for the last 60 years with the embargo and the blockade, and they suffered economically. Now, I've been there, and one of the reasons I know I have a fantastic. I just enjoy the Cuban people, and I just like the way their whole attitude to life. And anytime I've been there, yes, and they are because of the blockade.
Real lack of democracy in that country, though, isn't there? Where you had Fidel Castro.
Well, see, this is what you guys think, right? I mean,
but surely one leader in that position from 1959 to 2009, I think it was.
Well, you know, he's stepped back now.
Well, I know he's stepped back now.
Yeah, he's let Raúl take over. Yeah.
But that's a very democratic.
But no, but see, that's not
really in line with your kind of principles.
No. What I'm saying, well, I mean, when I went there, I was kind of checking out those particular things, and the first thing I discovered is that they have a system within Cuba as well that I didn't know about until I saw it firsthand, where they have local elections in local areas, and they nominate somebody, and then they go to the National Assembly, and they're the ones that elect Fidel. Now that's their call. No, I'm not saying it's perfect or
I think that system is fair, open, democratic.
I think it's fair. I think it's
multi-party.
I think it's different. It's different, right? Yeah. And I'm not defending more. I think the Cuban people, by the way, are moving more towards an open democracy as long as the US and other countries don't mess it up. I'd be worried about that because, as you said before, there's certain good things about Cuba in relation to their education system, their health system, the whole lack of inequality within the system. But of course, they need more money. They need to open up for the internationalization of their economy. To let there's a fantastic SME sector development over there for the last 10 years. There's a lot of media over here never report on, and the private sector is doing very well here.
So you think Cuba gets a raw deal then?
I do, yeah.
Absolutely. Questions to be asked in relation to Castro and human rights and stuff like that. Oh, like I said, Castro in power for decades.
Yeah.
I mean, would you favour that in Ireland?
Well, that's the
I mean, let's say Enda Kenny decided tomorrow that he wants to stay in power.
No, but if the people kept voting for him, the answer is yes. And if the people love him, that's it. And so I never met anybody in Cuba that hated Fidel. And it was out in the pubs and the clubs and everything.
Fidel.
No.
Okay.
I have met Cubans that were critical because of their infrastructure and their roads and their economy, and they're politically critical of certain things. And I met them, talking to them socially and personally. Yeah. But the point I'm making is, they are wide open, but they also have loads to give to the world as well. And I just love if the embargo and all the blockade was lifted so we get on. And I also think it'd be fantastic relationship between Ireland because of our history and because of the connection with Che Guevara and the Galway-Clare connection. I think that's very, very important as well.
Did you get any cigars?
Did you get any cigars? And one thing, Hugh, I really loved is their smoking bars. Okay. You could light up in the bar and relax and have a beer, and you were looking over your shoulder. There's no sign of James Riley or the health police.